Assalamu alaikum Sayyidi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Maulana, is there a relationship between nafas, rahma, breathing, and one's spiritual frequency?
The breathing and frequency, yeah, anytime you're conscious of your breath means you're on a spiritual path. So you're conscious of the breath, conscious of the energy, conscious of the way, of course you're going to raise the frequency. Everything is about the frequency. So we talked about the frequencies. Even to the last question is that as we rise in the elevator, we're trying to bring everybody with us. But not everybody comes up to higher floors. That's just the way it's going to work. But regardless of them coming up, means that when the shaykhs and those whom are following, if they raise their conscious ability, raise their frequency, and let's say their children are not rising with them, in Allah's immense wisdom is the one whom their frequencies are elevated and their spiritual abilities have become very strong, they can reach many people. So this is the concept of intercession, that before you can intercede for people, Allah will allow you to intercede for yourself and your loved ones. So this is a gift of the way. That's why He said there is a flipping point in which the student is struggling with the way and the concept that I should have provided everything and did everything for my dunya and build my dunya, build all of these safeguards of my dunya. Then they go towards their spiritual path and they run towards Allah and His Rasul. There's a point in which their running is strong enough that they flip the scale, means now they're very close with Prophet. As a result of that closeness, what is the hadith that Allah describes, the Hadith al-Qudsi? I become the hearing in which they hear, the seeing in which they see, the breathing in which they breathe, the hands in which they touch, the feet in which they move. So much so they become Rabbaniyun and they have power of kun fayakun. Means this is not a normal state. These are servants, and not only shaykhs, but the shaykhs produce these salihin. That these students are salihin, they hear what others don't hear, they see what people don't see. They move because of their khidmat and their life in Allah's way and in the way of Prophet, and when they make dua, Allah accepts their dua. So they are lifting their families, no doubt, and before they leave this world they will have interceded for their children, their families, and placed them in their graves and in their stations in the presence of Prophet. This is the whole understandings of tariqah. Why do somebody follow a shaykh is not so that a station only you achieve, but when Prophet described, you will be with whom you love. So it means if you love the right people, they will carry you to your destination and put you upon their ship. Now imagine everything is based on love. So then what's your reality of madad? Is love. How does the shaykh carry you? Convince you in your head, I'm a good guy? No. His khuluq has to be something that you feel a love, and that's all they needed. And that's why they talk loving, they act loving, they teach with love, they have nasheeds with love, because all they need is your love. If you love, their atoms will grab you. So then what is it and how are you going to carry your family? It's through love, not the spouse. Spouse, they have their own destiny, they're older. But whom you're responsible for are the children. So when the children are born, and you're loving to them and they love you. Regardless if they follow you, they listen to you, but they love you, your soul will grab them and carry them. So this is a deep reality in this way of love. If the spouse loves you, lucky for you, because then you're going to carry them on your ship. And that's the whole concept of the tariqah. When Surah Yasin describes حَمَّلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ فِي فُلُقِ الْمَشْحُونِ, and we created ships like the fuluq al-mashhun. There's big ships, they go out and carry tens of thousands if not hundreds of thousands of souls. But they have students trained with little boats that go out on shore, and they carry their families and other people whom they have contact with and bring them back to the ship of the Shaykh. Mithlihim. So this is from Surah Yasin again, that we created them in the loaded ship, and we created ships like that. Means there's our smaller ships. So when they follow a shaykh and they follow with love, they follow with their khidmat, they live a life of service because they follow, and their life is to follow the sun, they follow the light. Everything else will follow them. But if you turn yourself away from the light to follow your children, not you will save them nor will they be saved, and that becomes the great danger. So if I would have run after them, followed them, played with them, then everybody would have ended up in Las Vegas and the end would have been hell. But when we live a life of following Prophet ﷺ, all that matters for us is that when you enter into the grave, of course you have credit with Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, that what? That bring my children with me, bring all those whom loved me with me, bring all those whom followed and give their life of khidmat. So this is the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, you be with whom you love, and whom you love will be with you. And this is the reality of how and madad. So for families, keep the love with your children, keep them to love you, and through love you will carry them and bring them towards their destination. And through your love for the shaykh will carry you. So as he brings you in, everything that is attached to you by love will naturally come on board, because they may not have a love for the shaykh, they may not even know anything about the shaykh. Doesn't matter, because once the shaykh picks you up, everything attached to you has already been thrown on to the boat. And that's the secret and the bond of love. That's why they don't approach through your head and convince you with your head, but the atomic bond of muhabbat and love is something not breakable. And that's the immense realities why the path is based on love. Because outside Sharia people say, why you guys aren't just hard? Why don't you just yell this, yell that, teach this, teach that, make everything difficult? It's not about that, it's about people coming with love. And sometimes it has to be hard so that people have a himmah and a zeal to do and to do things, to achieve, especially now in the mode in which we have to achieve. This message has to go out, those nasheeds have to reach whom Allah wants them to reach. In hundreds of thousands, already there are millions of streams, but the nasheeds have to reach. These are, for the last days, a very powerful message. We went from long videos, hour long, when people had mental aptitude. What happens now at the end of days? They have 30 seconds of attention. Within 30 seconds to a minute to maybe 2 minutes max, a message has to be dispensed. It's no longer a time where we would sit for an hour listening to the shaykh's talks, put all the notes and put… these are very few people. Now it's how do you grab the youth and children that within a minute to 2 minutes lock them in such a lock that they wake up reciting those nasheeds. And that becomes the power. This is for whatever time is left upon this dunya, then the dunya goes into chaos and everything is cut off and everything is as it is. Whatever position you are at that time, then that's the position and that's the everything shut off. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, salamun al mursaleen, Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammadan Mustafa. بسير سورة الفاتحة. شو هي رسول الكريم. آمين.